Pretirement is not an end, it's not a finish, and you are not quitting. As a reminder, pretirement is the 10 to 15-ish years before you retire, if you retire. My name is Amy Palmer, and I am your GenX Big Sister, and there's been a lot of interest in my conversations around pretirement. So if you are new here, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. We're going to be talking about it. I've been living the pretirement life for almost 4 years now. And I'm going to dig into a lot of the ins and outs on how I make it happen and how it's possible. But there's a couple of clarifications and comments that I want to make based on the comments that are coming in based on, from my previous video, and I'll connect to it at the end of this video. But pretirement has nothing to do with whether or not you ever plan to retire or not, or whether or not you feel like you'll ever be able to retire or not. It's more of a practice and a mindset and an approach to your life. It's about winding down from the hustle and the grind and the pressure and all the weight on your shoulders. It's creating a life that it has more space in it to build something that brings you joy and that enables you to spend time doing the things that you love, as opposed to feeling obligated to do the things that you have to do. Doesn't mean you're quitting, doesn't mean you're giving up. I thank you to everyone who has commented on the previous video. I've been slowly trying to answer every single one, and I'm roughly a third of the way through, I think, ish. But what is really striking me is the number of people who know exactly what I've been talking about. The feeling of just being done, just being exhausted, just being over it, and not quite sure how to unravel all that great big ball of tension that is your life right now, and how to sort of craft something new, because you're pretty deeply entrenched in everything that you're responsible for right now. So let me clarify. I understand. I understand that there's a lot of us, and particularly in this Gen X age group, we can't slow down, or it feels like we can't slow down. We have a lot of people depending on us. A lot of you shared what you're dealing with as far as your responsibilities still to your children, your responsibilities to your parents, a lot of really big, real responsibilities. And I get that. As a matter of fact, I am making this video at the end of my day one road trip drive, where I'm driving my parents, who are in their early 80s. I'm driving them from upstate New York down to Myrtle Beach. We were supposed to do it over the weekend, but as you may know, there was a major snowstorm all across the east and even into the south. So it didn't even matter that we were going south. The snow and the ice and the roads were terrible. So we postponed it a couple days. So I'm in the midst of doing that. We just finished our first drive. So I'm here in Virginia talking about pretirement. If I had to simplify it into the top 3 things that you need to consider if you want to practice pretirement, if that's something that you want to engage in or with, the first thing you need to do is to get really clear for yourself on what does that mean for you. What kind of life would you like to have? So that means you need to give yourself room to dream, give yourself room to envision, to imagine, to be creative, to really get the juices flowing on what would a joyful, peaceful, in alignment, more easily in flow kind of lifestyle look like for you right now? What would that look like? And as I say that, I'm actually holding a vision board celebration this Sunday, February 8th, for midlife women. I will link to that in the show notes here, because that's part of what we're going to be doing on Sunday, is really getting clear on what does that look like? What difference does it make? How is it different from your life right now? I mean, some of you in the comments were talking about how you absolutely can't leave your job, and you kind of really don't want to leave your job. You're totally fine in it, other than the fact that it's really, really stressful and taking a lot of your time and energy. So maybe it's how are you going to approach your job differently? And maybe that means adjusting how you see your job. Your job is just an investor. Your job is an investor in the rest of your lifestyle that you're building. It is your funding source for the rest of your life that you want to build. So what does that look like, and how does that look? So the first thing that you really want to get some clarity around is, what is it you're trying to do? I know you're really, really, really tired, and sometimes you can't even really name it, and you're not sure why, you're not sure where it's coming from, you're not sure what's going to fix it. The best way to figure that out is silence. I'm telling you, I wish, my wish for all of you, and for you specifically, whatever your circumstances are, my wish for you is that you get blessed with some time and space and silence for yourself, to be still with your thoughts, to be still with your heart's desire, to get back in touch with your source, whether that's God, Jesus, your higher power, however you identify, but really having that time and space and silence to get back in tune. The sabbatical that I took for myself almost 4 years ago now was literally, it wasn't just life changing, it was life saving for me at that time. I had no idea how I was going to pull myself. I was in such the depths of despair and hopelessness and lack of excitement for the future. I was so deep in it, I could not see my way out. And figuring out a way to give myself some time and space and some time away and taking a break, that's what did it. I was able to make myself a priority and make my healing a priority. I relieved myself of the pressure that I was putting on myself, the guilt that I was putting on myself for doing it. I gave myself the grace, and I gave myself enough love to be able to take that time and space to figure out just what it was going to take for me to heal. And just the rest, just getting some rest, getting out in nature, moving my body, spending time with people I love, that was healing. It saved my life. And once I was able to save my life, once I was able to heal, that's when I was able to start dreaming again. Was able to start thinking about how these years and decades ahead could potentially look like. So we're still on number one in terms of, like, what do you need to think about if pretirement is a practice you want to embrace? Getting clear, getting that vision, and however that is for you. If you'd like to join me with doing that on Sunday, would love to meet you. We do it via Zoom. We have several amazing women signed up already, so that's going to be an amazing time. But the second thing that you need to really think about is how simplifying your obligations, which is another way of saying drilling down your expenses, simplifying your life. And that's going to take some deep thought and work. I mean, I started by just going through my bank statements, going through what I was spending my money on every month, looking at my budgets and figuring out what I was willing to let go of. For me, I determined that I could not afford my apartment in Laguna Beach, California, which freaking amazing place to live. But if I was going to if I was going to step off the ladder, if I was going to simplify my life, if I was going to ease in and have this pretirement practice, it meant I needed to step back on some things. So that was a big one. And just looking at individual expenses and figuring out, I paid down my debt. I paid down like everything. I cleared out all my credit cards. It took a while to do all this. This wasn't like an instant thing. It took a while to get all my expenses down as low as I possibly could. And then wrapped with that, with simplifying your life, who do you have? Who loves you and who do you love that can step up for you a little bit in this regard? And maybe it's people who are currently leaning on you and depending on you for certain things and different things that you are taking care of for them. Maybe there's some financial support that you're giving to people that you don't need to be anymore. I don't know. This is just where you want to think of it. Who do you have in your life that can now step up for you and now be there for you? And I'm sorry, I keep getting text messages coming up as I'm recording on my phone. But who do you have in your love circle that you can lean on, that can help you with this simplified life? And I know it's hard. I know it's hard to ask for help. And I know that it's hard to rely on other people. It's crazy hard. But it's worth it in a lot of ways. People want to help you. Think about when you want to help the people you love and you want to do things for them and you like that they're leaning on you for certain things. They like it too. They want to feel important. They want to feel needed. They want to help you. So it's, really, really searching your mind and your soul and your heart for how you can make that happen. So that's the second thing to keep in mind. So the first thing, get clear vision. Second thing, simplify your life. Simplify your responsibilities, simplify your obligations. And then the third is start thinking about possible ways of supporting yourself. And this is a whole separate topic all on its own. We could do a whole master class on this. But I tell you, there's probably, you could probably search this on YouTube, searching, setting up multiple streams of income, because that's what you want to do. You want to figure out, how can I set up multiple streams of income? What are all the skills that I have that are marketable, that could be transferable? What are the things that I could do to earn money? And, depending on what your living situation of where you are, or whether you want to be like me, I'm fully nomadic. So I needed to find things that I could do remotely. And I basically thought through all the skills that I've been honing and refining and improving over decades, things that I am masterful in. I'm an expert. I have a long list of things that I am an expert in based on all the experiences I've had. I'm your GenX Big Sister. We have been working since we were 11. So it's been a really long time. We have a heck of a lot of skills, and there are ways to market those skills. So starting to think about what those are. And if you're stuck and you're not sure, and just like I said, start looking for some options. Do your research to get some ideas, because the ideas are to find ways where you're in flow, where it's, it's not, you're not hustling and grinding. It feels in alignment and it's happening for you. And you're spending time doing things that you love to do. And that's how you are supporting yourself. So that's the third way. So, like I said, 3 simple things: getting clear, clarity, vision. Number 1, simplify your life, simplify your obligations. 2, brainstorm your income generating ideas. Those 3 things will go a long way for getting you ready for this practice. And I understand if the time's not right for you. There are other solutions if you are finding yourself in the depths and in the depths of despair like I was. You don't have to change your whole life for that. You don't have to start from scratch. There are simpler ways. You can start small and start easy. Maybe it's just letting go of some of the things on your plate. So those are just the thoughts on my mind right now as I make this stop partway on my way to Myrtle Beach. Hope everybody out there is safe and warm and dry and happy. This is your GenX Big Sister. Please leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you're willing to do, what steps you want to take. And for those of you who felt you are in some sort of pretirement phase right now, a lot of you said sort of. I'm sort of. Tell me more about that. Is there any way that you could make it even prettier, make it even more full of joy? Leave me that comment. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. My name is Amy Palmer. I'm your GenX Big Sister, signing off.